Handling money is one of a checker's greatest responsibilities, and sometimes one of the most difficult.
In this video, I want to talk about how people get paid and pay for things in America. Now, I lived in China for 4 years and I had a job, and when I got paid it was once a month and it went directly into my bank account, which is called direct deposit. Direct deposit means it goes directly into your bank account. But in America, it's usually not like this. A lot of places will pay every 2 weeks. In a place like New York, which is where I live, it's generally once a week. I think the reason for that is because most people don't know how to budget their money so that they can get a paycheck every 2 weeks, or if it were every month, wouldn't know how to make sure their money lasted for a whole month before the next paycheck. So we usually get paid every 2 weeks or once a week, and we actually get a paper check, an actual check. So we get it in an envelope and it shows us how much money we made, maybe how much was taken out for different things, and it actually looks like a piece of paper, like a check, like this. This is a check. This is a real check. Now this is a personal check that I wrote, but it looks something like this. And then you sign your name on the back, you go to the bank, and you can put it in an ATM machine to deposit it into your bank account, or you take it into the bank and you say, I would like to deposit this check, or I would like to cash this check, If you cash a check, that means you give them the check, the piece of paper that you signed. On the back, you actually sign your name, and then they give you cash. Now, how about buying stuff, paying for stuff in America? Do we use something like WeChat, where we can open our WeChat and scan a QR code like people do in China? Do we have something like 支付宝? Well, kind of, but not really. There are many different ways to pay for things, and it depends on the place that you go to buy stuff. So for example, if you go to a small shop, maybe owned by one person, usually you cannot pay with a card. You can see my wallet is full of cards. I have to take these cards with me because I don't know what kind of place I'm going to need to go to. Now, if it's that kind of small shop and I say, can I please use my card? They'll say, no, cash only. If it's a very small shop. Most small shops don't accept cards at all. They only accept cash. So you have to go to the ATM and withdraw some cash, to take some cash out, and then go back to the shop and give them the cash, and then you get what you want to get. So maybe a small Chinese restaurant in New York. There's one in my neighborhood. They don't accept any cards. So every time I need to get cash and pay in cash. Now some small places will allow you to use a card. We have a debit card and a credit card. The debit card is basically your bank card. The credit card is, well, it's a credit card. So you can use a credit card or a debit card, but they usually have a minimum. So you have to buy at least $10 worth of stuff, or sometimes $12 or sometimes $15 worth of stuff before you can use a card. Otherwise, if it's under that, you have to pay with cash. So it'll say $12 minimum. $12 minimum. Credit card, $12 minimum. That means it must be at least $12. So it's not very convenient if you want to buy something with a card, which is more convenient than carrying a bunch of cash around with you. Bigger places like a huge supermarket or a large chain like Starbucks, something like that. It's a chain store, a restaurant. You can use a card pretty much any amount. So if you go to 7-Eleven or you go to Starbucks, you can use a card. It doesn't matter how small the amount is, because Starbucks is a huge corporation. But for little shops, no. They'll either have a minimum or no cards accepted at all. PayPal is basically like Drifubal, but you can usually only use it to buy stuff online. So if you're buying something on Amazon or eBay, which is like our Taobao in America, Amazon and eBay are the top two, you can use PayPal. But if you want to go into a store and use PayPal, probably not. Very, very few places will accept PayPal. I have an iPhone, so I can use Apple Pay, but the problem is it's hard to find a place where I can use it. Most places don't accept Apple Pay. It's convenient when you can, because you just beep your phone on the machine, but it's hard to find that kind of place. So Starbucks, I can use it. A place like a big supermarket, right? I can use it. But most little places where I want to buy things, a convenience store, a pharmacy, I can't use Apple Pay. You need to be ready for all possible situations when you go out to buy stuff in America. It's not simple, and I can say we are, in this way, far behind China, and it's very frustrating because when I go to China, I just take my phone and it's really, really easy. I can buy anything on my phone. It's great. So when you come to America, be ready for all types of payment situations. Bring your cards, bring your phones, bring your checks. No, don't bring your checks. Don't bring your checks. Just be ready for everything because it's not very simple here. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. By the way, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to push the subscribe button and let me know what other videos you'd like to see. Give me suggestions for things you want to see me talk about, and I'll look for those in the comments. See you next time.